Shalom. I'd like to start by saying Kal Hala Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone, and to the hopeful elect Christians, word and truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This one's going to be a short one, quick one, but important one, called Straight and Narrow. Matthew 7:13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way. Right? So, for example, if you played football, every position has their jobs and responsibilities, right? And I'll talk from my position. I was a defensive end, right? You don't want to when you're pass rushing, and pass rushing is a form of getting to the quarterback, basically beating the guy that's in front of you, right? When you're doing that, you want to take the least amount of steps possible, but you also want to go on a direct path, right? You don't want to stray from the path because, if you step too wide, now you're losing steps, right? If the guy's like in front of me, right? Let's say he's like a foot in front of me, and I'm stepping like inches to the right. Now that's distance I lost and the time that I lost, right? Because the time's still going, right? I'm trying to get to this guy before he throws the ball. So I want to make sure all my paths are in one direction, right? One direction. They don't stray from the path, right? They're straight, not wide, right? Right? You have a point of attack, right? So there's a purpose for everything. And for another example, if you got let's say, okay, perfect. Basketball players, when they shoot the basketball into the hoop, right? There's a direct path of how that ball's gonna get into the hoop and score. Like basically, you hear the swish where you get a point. But if it goes too wide, they miss. And they miss. It could be an air ball. It could land into the opponent's hands, and he runs it down and gets a layup, and they lost it. And now the other team just gain a point, all because they didn't stay in that straight path, right? Or a quarterback throwing the ball. If he throws too wide, then the defensive player picks it up, intercepts it, and runs it back for a touchdown. So there's a straight path for everything where it's supposed to go, right? Just like in the truth, right? Like I said, enter ye in the straight gate. So in the truth, there's a straight and narrow path you're supposed to walk on, right? That's it. There's no wide path, because you walk in a wide path. There's traps, there's snares, there's snakes, there's all type of different hazards, right? That will entrap you, right? You have harlots, mesmerizing you, persuading you, right? That's what you're supposed to walk on, that yellow brick road, the gold road, not the road full of traps and all this other stuff. Right. So, right, because like when you walk on those roads, you're straying from the path, the straight path that you're on. So now you're going wide. Right. And it says right here, enter ye in the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. Right. So the broad ways lead to destruction. So things that have no order lead to destruction, because now it's broad. There's too many possibilities, too many scenarios that could happen. Right. It's not simple. It's not straight, right? So that's why people that say, "Oh, it's complicated." Okay, it's complicated means that it's just wicked, right? It's just wicked. It's gonna lead to wickedness, right? It should be simple. If it's not simple, it's wicked, right? It's just that simple, right? Because Satan, devil, he works in confusion. That's where he plays. That's his area. Which is why he lies, he lies, he tricks, he deceives, right? It's trickery, it's confusion. And the Most High said he's not an author of confusion, right? That's why you're supposed to stay on the simple, the straight, the narrow, right? There's no way you can stray from the path, right? And many there be which go in thereat. Verse 14. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, right? And like playing football, when I stayed on that straight path, when I was pass rushing, I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I sacked the quarterback. Just like the quarterback, he throws the ball in the right area, the receiver catches it and he runs it back for a touch. He runs it for a touchdown, or he just catches the ball and gains yards. or the basketball player that shoots that ball perfectly in that straight, perfect, narrow path, it's a swish, right? So all the straight and narrow stuff always leads to success, to good things, not evil things, right? When it's broad stuff, it leads to wickedness. You might still obtain some stuff, but you went through a wicked path to get it, right? And where you obtain anything is vanity anyways. So it's just your wickedness, which leads to death. Comes back to death, right? Because it's evil. And okay, I'll read it again. Because straight is the gate and narrow is a way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So only few are going to find the straight and narrow path, you know, that gate. Because that comes through out of the fear of the Most High. And the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, has been dealing with you to get that. Right? So now we're going to go to Luke 13:24. Luke 13:24. Strive to enter in at the straight gate, for many, I say unto you, will seek to enter it and shall not be able. Right? So a lot of people want the truth. You know, they want to find that truth, that, you know, the truth to everything, and they can't get it. That's one example, right? Because Most High is not giving to them. He's not dealing with them. Another example is finding the Most High, seeking the Most High when he may be found, right? Because now a majority of people know his name. They've been told his name at one point. So this is the time to look for him. As soon as you've been told, you have to go look for him. If you don't look for him, you want to stray on that wide path. Okay, when he hides his face, you can't find him. Because, and through him, you have to find Yahweh Shai. Because he's the door. Right? So he's the door. So there'll be a point where you try to look for him, you won't be found. So, you know, you can't play around, because these straight gates, the straight gate, which is a door, the gate is a door, right? That door is not going to be open forever. Eventually it's going to be closed and locked. Right? And that's funny, it goes into the next verse. When once the master of the house is risen up and has shut to the door, and ye begin to stand without and to knock at the door, saying, Lord, Lord, open unto us. And he shall answer and say unto you, I know you not whence ye are. He's like, I don't know who you are. Who are you? Why are you knocking at my door? I don't know you. Right? That's what's going to happen. Because eventually things are going to get crazy out here, which is coming very soon. Right? Jacob's trouble. And everyone's going to start looking for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? And this is what Yahweh Shai is going to say. He's like, I don't know who you are. Who are you? Right? You keep playing around, man. You keep playing around. It's not a game. Right? Then shall ye begin to say, we have eaten and drunk in thy presence, and thou hast taught in our streets. So he's like, yeah, I learned the stuff that you taught us. You know, you taught me, right? You know? But it goes to another thing. It's like, just because you've been taught something, you have to apply it. You can be taught all these things, but if you're not applying it, it's going on deaf ears. So you're not taking it seriously if you're not applying it. It's just that simple. But he shall say, I tell you, I know you not whence ye are. Depart from me, all ye workers of iniquity. Right? Because he doesn't know you. He doesn't know who you are. Because if you really were taught by him, right, and you really took it seriously, you would have been applying it. And you would have entered into the straight gate. You would have been inside that house. You know? But you didn't take it seriously. You thought it was a joke. You thought the gate was going to be always there forever. Right? Because you didn't have the fear of the Most High. Because if you had that fear, you would have ran and sprinted to that straight gate. You would have been knocking on the door early when the door was open. You know? So now we're going to go to Psalms 1:9 and 35. Oh, slack. Psalms 119, verse 35. Make me go in the path of thy commandments, for therein do I delight. Right? And the straight gate is a straight and narrow path, right? Is the path of the commandments, right? Following the commandments, law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability. Having the faith, right? That's the straight and gate. And a lot of people don't want to go on that path. That's why I said few will find it, because that requires you to, one, have the fear of the Most High, to humble yourself, and to look at yourself and realize that you've been wicked. and realize that you're dirty and you need to clean yourself. Right? Because before you can get into that house, you need to go on that path. And that path is going to purify you because you're going to go through things on that path. You're going to go through tribulations, go through affliction, because there's other paths, right? There's other paths that lead to narrow ways. Right? There's other things that are going to try and stop you to go on that, staying on that path, right? So you're going to go through your own adversities. But through those things, as long as you know you have to stay on this path, you're going to get through those things. Whether you have to go through it, go around it, whatever way you have to do it, you're going to stay on that path. Sometimes you're going to get bruises. Sometimes you get cuts. You're going to get tired, But then the point is that you're supposed to stay on that path, right? And through those struggles, that adversity, you're going to cleanse yourself. So by the time you get to the house, you're clean, right? Right? And a righteous man and woman will be delighted to be on the path of commandments, right? That's what they delight, and that's the elect. And that's why Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is only coming back for the elect. He doesn't care about everyone else, because only the elect are going to stay on that righteous path, that straight and narrow path, Because they like to do it. And that's why the elect are the elect. They are the first fruits. They were there in the beginning with Yahushua. 16:11 is the last one. Psalm 16:11. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Right? So this path is a path of life. Right? And you're joy to be on that path. Right? You're full of joy to be on that path. Right? So anyone that talks about, oh, I like things with multiple options. There's nothing wrong with having options, so to speak. But as long as those options still lead to the same direction, it's not good to have a bunch of options because you'll never get anything done, right? It can lead you to too many different directions, right? So that's it on that. There's nothing else to say. The point has been made. I hope this lesson was edifying. I'd like to close out by saying, Ka halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect, pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Death and destruction to this wicked kingdom, and the 2/3 as well. Kwam Yasharallah, Abad Babal, Shalom.